Okay, here we are live in the eWaste Gold headquarters.
Oh, and we're going to have feedback here.
Here we are live in the eWaste Gold headquarters in Pompano Beach, Florida. We're going to be going over today's haul, which actually isn't much. Today's haul is actually not much, so we're going to go over very quick because we had a request from another eBayer. Maybe we're lucky enough that this eBayer is watching. We got a lot of these IKEA, OK, whatever, I don't know, freaking Danish furniture type stuff. This is one of their funny name products. This is the Rationale Light. It's a Rationale Light. Rationale. Alright, so it's a Rationale Light. But what's good about these is these are LED lamp bars, and I don't know, I know the camera needs to be up a little bit more, but I don't know. Well, actually, we'll lift it up. We'll lift it up here real quick. Alright, there we go. Kind of see what these things look like. How many we get? We got a few of these, 3 or 4 of these. Most of these, I think 3 of these 3 are still remain sealed. They have not been messed with. To the best of my knowledge, it looks like they've been messed with. The rest are basically open box, but that's okay. Those are the ones we'll test. These guys here. Looks, as far as we can tell, all the little miscellaneous and sundry parts are here, like these little clips that you need, except maybe screws. So the screws maybe didn't last unless there weren't any, if there were any. But but all the miscellaneous little, these little doors here, these little plastic doors, we have all that stuff. We were testing it earlier. In fact, we'll test this one. That's why we have a little door off. These are LED light bars. They're meant to go up under like a counter or something like that. That's the basic idea. And they string together kind of like Christmas lights or something. So there's a plug in there. There's a plug here from the power supply, a switch. It's not even a power supply, it's just a switch. It goes right to the wall. So we'll just go ahead and plug it in. Why not? Alright, and they string together. And when the little clip goes on the outside, so it's like that right there. And yeah, I know you have to have like small fingers. You have to have like elfin fingers from like people from Norway or some shit like that. I don't know, man. Where this stuff is from. I did do it today, not a problem. But like I said, you have to have. There we go. Okay. Actually, it's a little easier to do when you're not doing it in front of a camera on a smartphone there in front of you. All right. And as you might see, each of these packages has one of these little extension cables right there pulling it along. So that's connected to the next one. That's what's the most important, is these units have to have all the different parts that come with it. Otherwise, they're kind of worthless, really, if they don't have all the parts, because they're meant to string together. So at least it's meant to have one feeding in there. And then what will happen is this guy then has another connector like that goes on to the next one, see? And I guess it's this one. I guess that's how that works. It's 2 slightly different connectors so that you don't mess them up. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm putting it outside the camera. There we go. I believe that's how they work right there. And maybe that's the last one. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. But yeah, it looks at a different connector there, and it goes in the end. And that one, for a reason, looks like it's got 2 little things stuck in the way of where the plug should go. So I don't really know. I don't know what's up with those little 2 white dots there. Thought there was supposed to be room for one to plug to the other. Maybe that's the end one. I don't know. Who the hell knows? We're going to test all these. But what's most important is we got all the little miscellaneous and sundry parts. We also got this one, another LED light bar. Tested this, it works fine. So these are all open box, but we got all the parts and they do work. So we're going to just, like I said, test them all up, make sure they work. Then sell them as a lot. These guys are about £1 a piece, so there's really no way to sell one individually. There's just no way to sell one of those really individually, so that's going to be going into a Priority Mail large flat rate box. They have the Priority Mail has these game board boxes, they call them, large flat rate style boxes that are very long. It's like this. It's called a Priority Mail game board box. Large flat rate box. But they call it a game board box because it's a longer but skinnier. So we tend to like put long stuff in those, or it may even fit. They'll even fit in a Priority Mail medium flat rate box. So 14 to 20, somewhere between $15 and $20 shipping. Make the whole lot worthwhile. Next up on the bench is this is a Sony Handycam. It's an older one. Looks like this guy. Here's what we figured out with this guy. This little battery connector right there. You might see it's a little green. It's meant to be kind of springy. It's like a little I think what they call the bed of nails connector. It's like three or five pins that are all spring loaded separately that push into the battery pack here, which help to give you a pretty redundant connection, which is good. Pretty good design. It's a good way to do that. This seems to have kind of lost its springiness a little bit. It's not sticking out as far as those, and got some corrosion on it. So, and this guy has the Euro plug on it, but it shouldn't matter because the supply is rated for, American to European input. But the problem is that when we hooked up an AC cable to this, we didn't get a power light here. So we don't know what's up with this guy. It may just be, we may scrap it. Okay, so our app died there for a second, but we may scrap that. So yeah, we may scrap that, but now we had a request from an eBayer about what sorts of cameras we might have. So let's put this thing up a little farther right now. All right. As I mentioned, if it's less than 5, I tend to scrap it. It's a 5 megapixel Kodak. This one is one of the ones I save because it takes it can use AA batteries, although it has a Kodak specialty battery. 7.1 megapixel Pentax, a 10.2 megapixel Kodak EasyShare, 14.1 megapixel Canon. We have this Panasonic Lumix with a very nice wide. This is really a nice camera. It's unfortunately it's only 10 megapixels, but in the 10 megapixel day, it was a good time. Big screen, 10 megapixel, but it's got a Zeiss lens. I'm sorry, it's not a Zeiss. It's got a Leica. It's a Leica camera. It's got a Leica lens, so that's top notch with a nice big screen. Okay, so that's a handy little camera for if it's not these sell for not a lot of money. It's got a nice case. It's a tight little unit. These sell for not a lot of money because it's 10 megapixels, which was pretty good in its time. Not much today, but it is 10 megapixels. I suppose in the strictest sense of the word, you could take this thing apart and upgrade the sensor, but in the strictest sense of the word, but it's not really going to happen. But you could technically do it, but probably wouldn't work very well. But probably you could technically do it, but I don't know, whether it's something like firmware, programming, and all that would handle it. But it's too bad because the rest of it's a good camera. But it's too bad they don't make a way to upgrade the sensors like that because a Leica lens is a very good lens. So this we can't get the tape out of, so we may or may not. We are a little sketchy about sending stuff out of here that has tapes in it, or that we have not confirmed that does not have a tape in it. We don't like that. Last time we looked at one of those tapes, we saw one of those tapes of somebody doing that thing with one of those tapes, and it wasn't. You know what? It was more comical than anything else. If not, yeah, it was comical. Yeah, we don't want you seeing that. We don't want anybody seeing that, man. It just shouldn't exist on planet Earth. But anyhow. And what's seen like that cannot be unseen, people. Remember, once seen, it cannot be unseen. I'm just letting you know. So, just letting you know. All right, so that's one box of cameras. Now, Now we got some 35mm action coming up that is also currently on eBay. We got our two Canon Sure Shots. These are both what they are. One I think still has a good battery or something, yeah, because you can see the number there in the LCD finder. The other doesn't. They're both about the same. The pictures are up on eBay, and there's a previous video out on these. So, two Canon Sure Shots, good shape. We got rid of our Ricoh. We had a Ricoh that sold already. This is a, I don't know what this is. Oh, this one's got some bids on it, I think. This one's got some bids on it. I thought that would open the lens. I guess I was wrong. Or maybe the battery does it. Looks like it's got a date back, which is nice. And it says it's a panorama. So I'm not sure what to make of that. I mean, it's a panorama. Well, I don't think it's a panorama lens. It just has a panorama thing, I guess. I don't know. It slides over the film. This is a Freedom Zoom Minolta. All right. So that's one batch of cameras. We're not done yet with the cameras. At least not with the camera stuff. We got to complete one of these Kodak Easy Share color printer deal. Power supply, it's not going in that box, but it's one of those. These two will probably get sold as a lot. Slide duplicated, because they're both made by the same manufacturer. And you even get the slide that it comes with, whatever that picture is. We looked at it, it's kind of cute. Spiratone Vario Dupliscope. This is a slide we can send you. We'll double check, but it's an outdoor picture of some kind of event or something. You know, it's cool. It's all right. You know what I mean? You're good. But yeah, we make sure there's not like, and we're going to make sure it's not a picture of an outdoor event with like a naked person hiding in the background waving at the camera. Just making sure, because people would be funny like that, you know. Oh, we're going out. Whoa, camera swaying. No, I've not been drinking. The gimbal just went out. That's why you don't use this on a gimbal. You use it on a tripod mount. But anyhow, Spiratone slide duplicated in macro bellows for a Konica. That's why we're going to sell these together in a lot, because these parts might be interchangeable to some degree. Same manufacturer, and then what will happen is it's giving you an option for different lens connections. Let's see what else we got up on the bench for us here. I knew we had another box of digital cameras. Kodak 12 megapixel. Kodak Easy Share 8X something or other. I think it says 14 megapixel. You know, nice wide screen on this one. How's the screens on these? Pretty good. Pretty good. Full size screen, full back screen, 7.2 megapixels. Sony CyberShot 7.2 megapixels. Some of these things have optical zoom, good optical zoom on them. That's what makes them worthwhile. They have good optical zoom instead of digital zoom. Olympus stylus, some shit, I don't know, some megapixel. I don't know if I can see that. This one I don't even know if it says anything. Well, Olympus stylus, 14 megapixel. Yeah, this is my box of higher megapixel cameras. And we've got the Nikon 7.1 megapixels. And we have the Sony CyberShot. I knew we had a 20 megapixel. Here we go. Sony CyberShot 20.1 megapixel. Look at this little thing. I think this has a optical zoom. And it's got a Zeiss lens on it. I need to look this one up on eBay. I don't know what this one's selling for on eBay. This is the kind of thing I would keep for myself. We're talking a 20 megapixel sensor, which is pretty good. In this little tiny little package, good enough size screen, with a Zeiss lens and 8 power optical zoom. That's pretty good. Optical zoom, not digital. So at least 8 power, which is good. And a Zeiss. That's a Vario Tessar, which is, I think, is the cheaper of the Zeiss lenses, but it doesn't matter. Carl Zeiss lenses are, Carl Zeiss lenses and Leica lenses really as good as they get. I mean, those are top-notch lenses. The Zeiss, the Schneider, the Kreuznach. So lots of good stuff for that. I think that's it for the photography stuff. Let me look real quick. Well, I got a couple of other stuff. These are some just generic Chinese video cameras, HD, but they're cheapo. They're cute. I don't know. They might be $10, $20 cameras. They're cute, but they work. These we've actually tested. These are Chinese spy camera type cameras, and what they do is they're Wi-Fi spy cameras, and what they do is that little camera in there, it takes the battery and it has a Wi-Fi, and if we can find the one we tore apart, we'll show it to you. You can even get a serial console on it, if you know what that means. It's got a TX and RX and a data line, transmit, receive, and a ground. So it's got the 3 lines of a serial port on it, okay? It's got a UART on it. Oh, damn. All right. It's got a UART on it. It's got a serial port, okay? And you can get a console, but we could not get in. We could not get in and get a shell, if you know what that means. It's based on a chip. I don't have the number here, but I did have it somewhere. It's based on an embedded... It's a camera sensor. It's a specialty chip made in China that's a camera sensor and an embedded Linux system all in one. In other words, it's a camera sensor, so it has an optical sensor on the front, mounted literally on the same die to an ARM processor. So it's an embedded Linux camera sensor. It's pretty spiffy, actually, of an invention. We've got 3 of those. You can see them on eBay. They do work. We've hacked them. We've tested them. What they do is they project the image to an app. You can either bring it up in your browser. It's Wi-Fi, so you can bring it up in the browser on your smartphone, or you can download the app from China, yeah, and run it on your smartphone. Run some unknown non-source code. They don't give you the source code. No, they don't do that. They give you a binary that you trust them to run from their website. It's not even from Google. It's from, you download it from their website, yeah, in China, right? And run it on your smartphone so you can run their camera. Well, just use the browser. Just saying. Not running those Chinese software from nowhere that I don't know about on my system there. It's just the way it goes. Okay, so I think that's it for the smartphones. We're going to come back to these again another time. We're going to find the one we took apart and show you what it looks like inside. About getting a console on it at least. We'll try again. All right? All right, and I believe other than a few video cameras that have their own listing, these guys look like they're going to go for parts. That's what we got. But, these guys, well, we'll see about these. But these guys are probably going to go for parts at some point. I'll just take them apart and scrap them. I don't really know. But that's pretty much it for all the camera stuff we got. Can't tell you how many of these digital cameras I've now taken apart, by hand. Scrapped all the MLCCs and ICs and LCCs and all those sorts of things off it. We scrapped the lower megapixel, lower resolution digital cameras. This app you're watching us live on is our own app. We write this app for Android. It's a RTMP live streaming app. And as I said, I had a request for some of the cameras. I think I showed them all. And you can go back to the video again, maybe figure out, what sorts of things you might want. All right, if you see some of those, put a comment on this channel. Get a hold of us through our eBay store. Let us know what you're interested in, and we'll see if we can put together a special package for you. All right? Thank you very much.